Rachel Wolf here with Club Pilates, and I have a mat class planned for you today with a lot of glute work. So we're going to get started at the back of the mat, feet in parallel. Inhale, taking those arms out and up. And soft bend into the knees, round your spine, rolling down one vertebra at a time. Walk your hands forwards on the mat, finding that plank position. And then walking your hands back to your feet, a little bit into the knees as you articulate up one vertebra at a time, releasing the arms down. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, rounding the spine, articulating down one bone at a time. Walk the hands forward, find your plank. If you'd like to add a little push up here, go ahead and do so. You can always drop those knees down to modify. And curling up one vertebra at a time, arms release down. And if you have sensitive wrists, you can always drop down to those forearms or drop your knees down into that plank. Inhale to lower, exhale, press up. Good, and we have two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round the spine. Rolling down, just starting to warm up the body. And last one. Curling it up, arms down. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, rounding the spine, walk it forwards. One push up. And dropping those knees down onto the mat. Shoulders over the wrist, knees underneath the hips. Exhale, round your spine, calves back. Inhale, lengthen forwards, cow tilt. Exhale, round, calves back. Inhale, lengthen. Good, last one. Now we're going to continue with cat and cow, but you're just going to turn your right fingertips to point towards the right knee. And exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. We just want to start to open up those wrists because we're going to be spending a lot of time on the hands. Good, and take that right hand forwards, turning the left fingertips towards the left knee. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. And one more. Coming back to center, and you can have a seat on those heels, circling those wrists around, and we come back onto the hands and knees. Shoulders over those wrists, knees underneath the hips. Tuck the toes under, floating those knees off of the mat. We hold it here, feel those lower abs zipping up, little press those shoulder blades up away from the ceiling. Or towards the ceiling. And we take that right leg, extend it back, draw it back in, left leg back, pull it back in. Keep that chest reaching forwards. Push out into that heel. If you need to modify, you can set those knees down. And of course, you can always go down onto those forearms. Good, and we tap those knees down just for a moment. We're zipping back up again through those lower abs. Pull that right heel to the glute, set it down. Alternating, squeezing the hamstring, squeezing the glutes. Deep breaths, keep pushing up away from the floor, back of the neck stays long. And last two each side. And one, set those knees down. Have a seat onto the heels, circle those wrists around. Shake them out, back onto the hands and knees. Knees together, shoulders over the wrist. We take that right leg. We're going to take the knee out to the side and draw it back in. Flex the right foot. Keep lengthening forward through the chest. Draw the sit bones together. Feel those outer hips firming in. Really important here that you're not leaning into that left hip. Imagine you're balancing a teacup on your sacrum. Stay with your breath. Good, and we hold that leg up here, little pulses. Up, up, up. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw that knee back in. We take it back. Flexing that foot, lift and lower. Squeeze the glute to the hamstring. Squeezing that glute as you lift. So it's not about how high you can lift. We just want to feel that squeeze of the glute in the hamstring. Draw those ribs in. Keep the belly pulled in. Continue pressing away from the floor. We lift here, hold. Heel to the glute, reach. Heel to the glute, reach. Good, and last 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee, hold. Squeezing that glute to the hamstring, little pulses up. Squeezing really tight between that glute and hamstring. And also firming those outer hips in. Draw those hip bones together. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We straighten that leg out. Point the toes. Kick it up and over behind the left leg. Up and over to the outside of the mat. Up and over to the left, up and over to the right. Keep that chest pulling forwards. Outer hips stay firming in. Lifting the chest up away from the floor. Deep breaths. Good, last 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back to center. Take a child's pose, rest. And curl it up one bone at a time, sitting on those heels. And we're going to stretch those wrists out. So right fingertips facing down towards the floor. Take your left hand, you're just pressing the back of the right hand, stretching into the wrist. Catching your breath, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And we switch sides. Inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And shaking those wrists out. All right, second side. So we come back onto the hands and knees, shoulders over those wrists, knees underneath the hips. We're drawing that left knee out to the side, and I'm going to turn around so you guys can see me. So left knee out to the side, and we pull it back in. Flex that left foot. Keep that chest lengthening forwards. Imagine you're balancing a teacup on the sacrum. Squeezing the glute to the hamstring. A little pressing those shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Feel those lower abs zipping up. And we hold that left leg out. Little lifts. Up, up, up. Keep that squeeze of the glutes. Try not to lean all your weight over into that right hip. Good, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that leg straight back. We're flexing the foot. We lift and lower. Squeezing the glute and the hamstring together. Deep breaths. Again, remember you're balancing that teacup on your sacrum. So we want to keep the pelvis even across. Keep pressing those shoulder blades up. Feel those lower abs zipping up. Those ribs pulling in. And we lift, hold. Squeezing the heel to the glute, extend. really feeling that squeeze between the glute and the hamstring. Deep breaths. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze. Good, and last two. Last one, hold it here. Little pulses up. Keep squeezing those glutes. Imagine you're squeezing a coin in between those cheeks. Good, and last 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg long, point the toes. We lift up and over behind the right leg. And I'm about to kick my reformer, so I'm just going to adjust a little bit. And then we lift up and over to the left. Up and over to the right, up and over to the left. Focusing on those outer hips, squeezing in. Deep breaths. Good, and we have 2 more each side. Last one. Good, and you can bring it into that child's pose. Deep breaths. Dragging the fingers to the knees, round it up. Interlace those fingers. Press the heels of the hands away. Lift those arms up. Stretching into those wrists. And release down, shake it out. All right, now we're going to lie down onto our bellies. Shoulders over the elbows. Lengthen up nice and tall, out of the top of the head. We bend the right knee, squeezing the glute to the hamstring again. 1, 2, point, slow to lower. Left side, squeeze 1, 2, point, slow to lower. So you want to really think about driving your frontal hip bones down into the mat. Keep that lift of the chest. Back of the neck stays long. Squeeze, squeeze, point, slow release. Good, keep that lower belly lifted. Just a little bit. So you're pulling that navel up toward your rib cage, feeling those lower abs engaged. But the hip bones stay down on the mat. Good, and last one, each side. All right, so we're going to cross the forearms, resting the forehead down, but you guys can keep your head up just for now so you can see what I'm about to do. So I'm resting my forehead down on my forearms, grounding both hip points down into the mat, bending that right knee, and we're just doing little presses of the right heel up towards the ceiling. So it's a tiny little movement. We want to make sure that both frontal hip points stay down on the mat. Deep breaths. Exhale, pressing up. Keep the back of the neck long. Inhale, lifting. And lowering. Good. And breathe. Squeezing that right glute to the hamstring. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Other side. Bending that left knee. Resting the head down. Little lifts. Up and down, squeezing the glute and hamstring together. Drive both hip bones down into the mat. Keep that left foot flexed. So we're lifting that left leg up from the glute and hamstring. That's where you're going to feel this. Squeezing those hip bones together. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release it down. Taking those hands in alignment with the chest. Pull those elbows in and drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, we peel the spine up off of the mat. Keep the hip bones down. And slow exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Back of the neck stays long. Inhale as you lift, keep drawing those shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, lower. And there's this little pull of the shoulder blades together to allow those shoulders to stay back. Good, last two. Keep pressing those toenails down into the mat. So we want to keep the feet anchored. The kneecaps are lifting up, and we lower down. Now take those arms back behind you. Lengthen those fingertips towards the feet. Inhale, we lift everything up. Keep rolling those shoulders back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And we lower everything down. Inhale, lift. Squeeze the glutes to the hamstrings to lift the legs and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. The whole body is long. We're going for length, not height. Feel those glutes firing and engaging to lift the legs. Last 5, 4, 3. Feel those lower abs zipping up. 2. Back of the neck stays long. Last one. And we press up. Coming into that child's pose, sitting the hips down on heels. Stretch those arms forwards and breathe. And we bring it back up onto hands and knees. All right, we're going to have a seat on the mat. Feet together, knees together. Reach those arms forward, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening out of the top of the head. We C-curve round the spine, roll down one bone at a time. If you need to modify, you can hinge back. Maybe don't go back as far, but I'm going to let my lower back touch. Keeping the back ribs off of the mat. And exhale, we C-curve round and lift and lengthen out of the spine. Reach out of the top of the head. Good, we C-curve, roll down, pressing that lower back. And exhale, C-curve up, lengthen up tall. Good, inhale, rolling back, pinch those ribs together. Lower back touches. And C-curve up. Squeeze those knees together. Squeeze those inner thighs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. And we're going to hold it here. So that lower back is touching. Pulse up an inch, down an inch. Up an inch, down an inch. Good, you have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Peel it all the way up. Soles of the feet together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding into that butterfly stretch, and breathe. And feeling it all the way back up. All right, we draw those knees together. Reach those arms in front of you. Again, we C-curve the spine, roll down one bone at a time. If you can allow that lower back to touch, go ahead and do so. If you need to just lift up a little higher and hold halfway, that's fine too. Now from here, we're going to bring that right leg up and tabletop. Now the key is to not move your torso. Lower down. Left leg lifts. You don't have to lift very high. Notice how I'm not even going to tabletop because it's really hard to keep your torso still. So you want to hold the torso as still as possible. And then from there, how high can you get that leg? Good, and your abs will start to shake. You know you're doing it right. Hold it here. Now right arm lifts and lowers. Again, we're not moving that torso. So you're lifting the arms up as high as you can without moving the torso. Imagine the torso wedged in between two panes of glass. Don't let it move. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now let's add opposite arm, opposite leg. Again, not moving that torso. Stay as still as possible. So we're not lifting up very high. Even if you can only lift up 1 inch, that's better than moving the torso to lift up higher. We want to hold that isometric contraction of the abs. Good, last one, each side. Grab those thighs and peel yourself all the way up to sit up tall. Whew, that was a tough one. All right, reach those arms in front of you. We see curve, lower down, halfway. This time we're just going halfway, so your lower back's not going to touch. Then we're going to twist to the right, center. Twist to the left, center. And I want you guys to keep your knees even across. So make sure one knee is not shooting out in front of the other. So no shifting in those knees. Keeping those hips equally weighted. Twisting from that center, from deep within that core. Keep that sternum lifted, reaching out of the top of the head. Deep breaths. Good, and last one, each side. Now we're going to bring it to that right side, hold. And we drop down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Last 5. Inhale or exhale, lift. 3, 2, and 1. We're just going to switch to the other side. Up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach those arms forward and we roll it all the way down onto your backs. All right, we're bending those knees. Feet are together. Hands pressing down alongside your hips. Tailbone to the pubic bone. Inhale, we curl the hips up 1 vertebra at a time, coming into our bridge. Now in this bridge, we're not lifting up as high as we can. We want to keep the shoulder blades down on the mat and find that alignment, shoulders, hips to knees. Roll down 1 bone at a time. Keep squeezing those knees together, squeezing the inner thighs. We return back to that neutral pelvis. Inhale, curl up 1 bone at a time. And exhale, roll it down. Inhale, curling up. We also want to feel those upper abs engaged, so pull those ribs together. Seal them together and roll down. Back to neutral. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, rolling it down. Inhale, articulate up through the spine. And slow roll down. Good, last 2. And last one, hold it up here. We lift the heels and drop the heels. Lift the heels and drop, but try to keep your hips as still as possible. Inhale, lifting and lowering. Squeezing those outer hips in towards the midline of the body. Keeping those hips as still in space as possible as you lift the heels and lower. Staying with your breath. Now we lift those heels up, hold. Drop the hips down halfway. Squeeze the glutes up to the top. Drop down halfway. Squeeze up to the top. Coming into that tucked pelvic position as you lift. We're just hinging at the hips to lower and tucking and squeezing on that lift. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And last 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Right leg tabletop. Set the foot down. Notice how we're still on the balls of the feet. Keep those heels lifted as we go into our marching. Try not to move your hips side to side. Keep those hips level and even. Pull those ribs in. Keep that tuck of the pelvis. Staying in that high heel position. Deep breaths. Lift that right leg up in tabletop. We hold. Drop the hips down halfway. Squeeze it up to the top. Good. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that left heel lifted. Hips stay lifted. This time we straighten that right leg up. And we lower and lift. So we're still on the ball of the left foot. That heel stays lifted. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. And we have 5, 4. Pull those ribs in. 3, 2, and 1. We're returning the ball of the right foot to the mat. Keeping those heels lifted. Left leg comes into tabletop. Drop the hips down halfway. Exhale, lift. Right heel stays lifted. Exhale, lifting those hips. Inhale to lower. Breathing. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Straighten that left leg up. We lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Squeeze those outer hips in. Draw the sit bones together. Right heel stays lifted high. Good. You have 5, 4, 3. Breathe. 2, and 1. Lower that left foot down. We drop the heels and lower down one bone at a time. Hug those knees into the chest, hands onto the kneecaps. We go into our leg circles with bent knees. Keeping those hips grounded, heavy onto the mat. Exhaling at the top, inhale, circling around. Good, feeling that nice articulation of those femur bones within the hip sockets. As we create these circles, we're lubricating the hip socket joints. And we reverse direction. Exhale, lifting. Inhale to circle. And last 3, 2, and 1. Planting those feet onto the floor. Cross the right ankle. We squeeze those inner thighs together. We're lifting both legs up and lowering down, keeping the stack of the hips. Feeling those obliques engaging. Keep pointing the toes. And we have 5 more. Exhale, lifting, inhale, lowering, last 3, 2, and 1. Now we have that tricep work to do on the other side. So you're gonna wrap that left arm around the belly and that right hand presses in front of you. We lift up and lower down, keeping that elbow stacked over the wrist. Try to keep those feet grounded down into the mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower, keeping the body as long as possible. Good, last 3, 2, and 1. We lift up and hold halfway, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it all the way up. Crossing that right shin in front of the left shin, or you can stack the right shin on top of the left shin if you want a deeper stretch. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Getting a nice stretch into those hips as we keep the spine long. And inhale, slowly coming back up, releasing the arms down. We switch. So now we're crossing that left shin in front of the right or stacking. Flexing the feet. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Spine nice and long. And bringing it back up and release the arms down. And you guys are done for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Over the left thigh, pressing that right thigh away. You can stay here or maybe interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Pull the left thigh in, use that right elbow to press the right thigh away. Feeling that nice stretch deep within that right glute. Keep those shoulders relaxed down onto the mat. And we release that stretch. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Press the left thigh away. Make sure you keep that right hip rounded onto the mat. So we don't want to shoot it off to the side. We want to keep it firmed, and you can interlace, pulling that right thigh in. And maybe use that left elbow to assist you in a deeper stretch by pushing that left thigh away. And we release that stretch. Hugging those knees in, and we go into our rolling like a ball. We're rolling up and rolling down. Now see if you can balance yourself at the top, holding teaser, and rolling back down. Now you guys can stay with this variation, or I'm going to show you the open leg rocker. So you're pointing those toes, and we're still in that rolling like a ball position, but with straight legs. Keeping those toes pointed. Continue lengthening up through the chest, reaching out of the crown of the head. Sternum lifts to hold that balance as you come up. So really important to find that length through the upper body. That's going to help you balance. Good, we have 2 more. We're going to hold the last one up. Last one, hold it up. You can stay in that tabletop, or if your legs are straight, hold those straight legs. Pull the legs closer to your chest if you can. Lengthen out of the top of the head, sitting up a little taller. We breathe, last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we bend those knees and return them back onto the mat. All right, we're going into our sideline series, so you can lie down onto your right side. We're on our forearm with those knees bent. You can also bend that elbow to support the head. So the shoulder stays over the elbow. Knees stacked, hand behind the head. We're going into our clamp, so pushing those feet together, we lift the top knee and lower. Squeeze the sit bones together. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Continue pressing those feet. feet together. Good, we want to keep those hips stacked. So imagine there's a pole running from the top of the hip all the way down into the floor. Good, now hold that top knee up. Our heels touch, our knees touch. Heels touch, knees touch. So we're keeping that bottom leg grounded into the mat. Really press that entire bottom leg heavy into the mat. So we're not moving the hips, they're staying stacked. And we're going into external and internal rotation. Good, last 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna stay in that external rotation and bring the heel in front of the shin. We're pulling that knee towards the elbow. Really important that we're not collapsing down to the floor. I want you guys to stay lifted. Drop that heel to the mat and lift. Keep that foot flexed. So you're gonna feel this in that left glute. Stay lifted up away from the floor. Keep those toes pointing up. Keeping that knee open. Good, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're bringing that leg back into neutral and we're circling the leg with a bent knee, keeping that bottom leg pressing heavy into the mat. And we reverse. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. Now we're going to lie down on that side, and you can support the head with the hand. We're taking those legs straight out. So shoulders, hips, feet all in one line. If you want to create a more stable position, you can just kick those legs out forward slightly. So we're lifting that top leg up to the height of the hip. External rotation, internal rotation. So it's not just the foot that's turning out and in, but we're actually rolling that thigh bone deep within the hip socket. And last 4, keep that foot flexed. 3, 2, and 1. And we return that foot down. Now we're taking that bottom leg arm straight out. You can keep that top hand in front of the body. Point both toes, both legs lift and lower. We lift and lower. Deep breaths. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And a little bit of tricep work just for fun. So we're going to take that right arm, wrap it around the belly. Left arm comes in front of you. And we're pressing up with that top arm and lowering down. Exhale, press up. Inhale to lower. We want to keep that elbow stacked over the wrist. We're also working into those obliques here as we come up into a side bend. Keep those feet squeezed together. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it halfway, pulse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. We change sides. So you're on that left forearm. Feet together, knees stay stacked. You can have that hand in front of you or take it behind the head. Clamps, we're lifting that top knee up and lowering it down. Deep breath, squeeze those feet together. Hips stay stacked. Deep breaths. Keep that bottom leg pressing really heavy into the floor. Make sure you're lifting up away from the floor. Good, and we hold it here. Heels touch, knees touch. Heels touch, knees touch. External rotation, internal rotation. Keep the stack of those hips. Feel that bottom leg root it down nice and heavy into the mat. Good, and 3, 2, and 1. We hold it here, we circle that leg. Breathe, and reverse. All right, and we lower it down. Okay, we're gonna lay down. And we're lifting that top leg up, external, internal, external, internal. Keeping that bottom leg pressing heavy into the mat. Good, and you have 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we lower it down. Now we're going to stretch that bottom arm out. You can stop it, because this is a good place to stop.